What's the best slash scariest slash most interesting internet rabbit hole you have found? If someone could just go ahead and turn this entire thread into a podcast, that'd be great. Thanks. Aliceandkev. WordPress.com/ it's a blog about playing as homeless characters in The Sims. It's long and gets pretty weird at times, and I periodically almost spit out my beverage while reading it. Not prom.com, it's browser-based riddle. Some friends and I worked on it for weeks before giving up. I forgot how far we made it, I think to the 60s. Wow, I'm gonna have to check this out later when I'm not on mobile. On the second riddle it said something about a pop-up, which I obviously can't do, but the format already seems super interesting. Oh, and according to the website, only 47 people have been verified to have finished the game since 2004, out of its 18.6 million visitors. That's only a 0.001% success rate. Holy shit. I found out I had a stalker from high school when I was in community college and decided to Google my name for some dumb reason. I don't have a very common last name, but there are still a few other people out there with my first and last name. I was like 10 pages deep in Google, place many do not ever go to, and I found an old tripod site that had my name and the URL followed by one of my old AIM screen names. So I clicked it and was taken to a very basic page that had a ton of pictures stolen from my MySpace and others that had to have been taken without me knowing. Things like me out working on my car or on the trampoline with my siblings in our yard. It was really weird, and I had no clue who it was until I scrolled all the way down and realized it was the girl I dated for a few months in spring of our sophomore year. She had a screenshot of a AIM conversation where I said I liked you way more than others or something on it, and she took that and ran with it. The Polaroids of Jamie Livingston //40th Huckrawford.com/ he took a Polaroid picture every day from 1979 to the day he died in 1997, his 41st birthday. You have very little context of what is going on in his pictures, but you can tell that they are very personal to him. After browsing through hundreds of pictures, I found myself building a narrative, recognizing new and old friends, getting clues as to his profession, and wanting to know more. I think I spent a few hours a day for a week just going through most of it. Damn it, now I'm going through it all over again. Pictures without context can be pretty unsettling. My dad is convinced there's ghosts in my house, so he'll occasionally just walk around and snap pictures looking for orbs and whatnot. If some strange event occurs in which someone happens across these pictures without talking to any of us about it, it would just appear to be a long series of pictures of my house, random corners, dark hallways, no people in any of them. I was on /r/Tinder looking at some hilarious comebacks and put-downs. One of the top posts was a profile someone had posted of a young lady in a wheelchair that had a wicked sense of humor around her situation. Well, turns out she was a Redditor and appeared in the comments section, chatting and joking away with other Redditors about her profile. I went deeper and came across a story which she'd posted to imgurunga.com/gallery/WTVDN, possibly NSFW hospital images. So from having a light-hearted chuckle at some funny Tinder chat to going to bed deeply affected by one of the most tragic, creepy/strange, and yet uplifting human stories I've ever read, was a pretty strange left turn. If you're still on here /u/lifeproof bionic woman, you rock. I bought a rooted phone and have had to educate myself with how to use custom ROMs, the software that runs your phone. In doing so, I have learned a healthy fear of all things tech. The amount of shit that third parties do as a matter of fact with your data and private info is absolutely bonkers. Background processes, scripts, permissions, and loads of stuff your phone came preloaded with. It is all there to track you, follow you, keep tabs on you, market you, predict you, identify you, and take advantage of you. Trust no one. We are being spied on. We line up for Nurse Ratchet's sugar-coated pills with each new device. This forum, which is dedicated to baiting the Nigerian prince email scammers, http://419eta.com/ guy convinces scammer to get a tattoo //419eta youtube.com/html/okari, HTM. Exceptional. It's not a specific channel, but I often get lost in the creepy side of YouTube. It starts with a few stupid videos about ghosts or aliens. By the end of it, I'm listening to stories about real people and human taxidermy. I've learned that real people are far more disturbing than any ghost or monster story. It leaves me feeling creeped out and gross but also fascinated. I highly suggest giving it a go. It's not a YouTube channel, but if you like the whole reality is scarier than fiction, I would recommend the podcast Lore. The whole premise of the series is what I mentioned above, reality is scarier than fiction. It's a very well put together and researched show. He also released a book and a show on Amazon Prime a while back. http://lorapodcast.com/episodes. Appensecrets.org. Look up your legislators' donors, then go to GovTrack Us and look at the legislation they sponsor, co-sponsor and vote on. Surprise, I found my congressman pushed continuing a Fed tax break on soda ash. I called him AMD, his office said it was for jobs and pressure from China, but will only cost $30 million. The last time it was passed they also did an impact study. No extra jobs, pressure, lol. They raised their prices 60% over that 4-year period and were an extra $1.5 billion more profitable. To add insult to injury, it wound up costing $150 million as mining operations simply shifted to federal lands for the break. Who was his #2 donor? You can already guess. The United States of America in one paragraph. Wikipedia's page on uncontacted tribes. It's fascinating to read about first encounters, how everyone reacts, the ultimate outcome. Every linked page about specific tribes is like its own mini drama. Wikipedia.org/wiki/uncontacted peoples. For cool stuff, Wikipedia's list of unusual articles. For a mixture of strange, sad, hilarious and frightening, sometimes all three at the same time. Fun to say the darndest things got me through a lot of slow times back in the day. There was one thread in particular which achieved glory when the originally quoted poster turned up and ended up performing an online exorcism on Anfsta to expel the demon that was apparently making her lesbian. But in general there was plenty of gold, flat earthers, space deniers, moon deniers, disbelief in DNA, disbelief in primates, all sorts. A few years ago I developed pneumonia. I was out of commission for about a week. My kids were at school, my wife was at work, and I was at home just trying to not stop breathing and keep as warm as possible. I saw an article about some member of the British royal family. Then I said, I wonder if any other countries really have active royal families. So I started googling and began researching the Norwegian royals. Then I found myself on the Wikipedia article for Eri Ben. It said he was a baptized member of the Christian community. Having done quite a bit of reading on the subject of religion, I was surprised I had never heard of this group. This was a massive rabbit hole. You learn about the Christian community and that leads you to Rudolf Steiner, who leads you to biodynamics, Waldorf education and anthroposophy. The bonus was that I felt like I learned a lot about something I was unaware of. The downside was that the next week I went back to work, having dedicated myself to the subject full time and didn't know what to do with all of that knowledge or information. /r/subreddit simulator. It's nothing but bots talking to each other using Markov chains of the subreddits they represent. It's hilarious and also kind of disturbing. All these bots just firing off responses trying to seem like people. Gets even weirder if you try to imagine it as a physical place. A bunch of physical representations of subreddits spouting off what sounds like gibberish to each other. Undeterred that they make no sense. There's this series on YouTube called the Marble Olympics. I'm on mobile, so I'll link it later, but this guy basically made different events and puts teams of marbles through them and color commentates. The production value isn't bad considering what it is, and you will start rooting for a team. I somehow ended up on Reddit. Not sure how, or if it qualifies as scariest or most interesting. Edit. Typo. Customer versus retail worker videos on YouTube. Entertainment at its finest. My favorite is when the customer is filming, thinks they are in the right, but are clearly the assholes in the situation. I remember a video I saw of a guy who wanted to make CarMax look bad, by getting his custom Super MK4 appraised. At first it seemed normal, but throughout the video the only thing the dude keeps saying to the guy doing the appraisal is some variant of "it's got 1000 horsepower." At the end, he was only offered $15,000. He didn't like that number on his precious project import. Building a PC on PC Part Picker. That stuff is dangerous. So many new words to learn. So little time. GD fighting styles on Wikipedia. Family Feud highlights on YouTube. There's this well-known playlist on YouTube called Important Videos. It has about 300 videos that are mostly short and stupidly funny. I feel bad admitting this, but when hydraulic press videos first came out I was pretty hooked. The cigarette review community on YouTube. So strange. One guy in particular's channel changed from a cigarette review channel to a channel documenting his fight against lung cancer and his chemotherapy journey. Then a final goodbye video youtube.com/user/ripthesmoker. This documentary on HBO called Tickled, which is about a competitive tickling league and just spirals downward into weirder and weirder.